A new plan at Lucasfilm, or the old plan that they decided to make the new plan again? Aaron Pierre, is that our new James Bond? We got some new trailers. Bruce Springsteen coming in hot. That and more on the show here today with myself and Kris Carr. It is the Kristian Harloff Show on a Wednesday. Let's do it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the show here today on this Wednesday. Joining me on the show, I can say now, as always on Wednesdays, Kris Carr. Hello, Kris.
You're always on Wednesdays. Ooh.
It's nice to have you on Wednesday. So I was going to say, you know what I can also talk about, but I can't yet until 5 o'clock, and that's 28 years later. Saw it last night. I know I saw it last night.
Ooh.
No, I can't say anything yet, but
Blink twice if it's great. Ooh.
So out of the theater reaction comes in at 5 o'clock. I already taped it, and it's going to be on the channel. I'm already excited. I taped it last night, scheduled it, all that and more. So I'm pumped for it. But we have so much to discuss here today, you and I. And
a lot of stuff.
Yes, we do. And you came so close last week in winning your first week. So close.
You know, but Coy and Winston, I mean, always well deserved.
They're working on 3 in a row right now. However, they are not in the lead because they haven't gone yet. But right now, Rocha, once again, the person to beat at 113 right now.
Oh, dang.
He had a good Monday. So can Kris Carr do another big performance like she did in her opening last Wednesday? We shall see. Let's get to this report. This is the report that came out. It was something like this last week, but then there was a screening that they did. So she's talking about it again. And essentially is that Star Wars now realigning a focus as Kathleen Kennedy reveals future. It's all about standalone stories. During a recent screening of the original Star Wars cut, Kathleen Kennedy revealed that the franchise is moving away from trilogies, opting instead to explore more self-contained stories. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy recently shared intriguing details about the evolving future of the Star Wars universe. Speaking at a special screening of the original 1977 Star Wars print in London last week, Kennedy discussed the studio's new creative direction for the franchise in the aftermath of Rise of Skywalker. Aftermath, it's like 6 years ago. Anyway, Kennedy told the audience, I really think that now we're in a position where it's broadened the possibility of stories and filmmakers we can bring in to tell stories that mean something to them. It doesn't necessarily have to connect to every little thing that's been done in Star Wars. It can actually be a standalone story that builds into many, many other stories. Rather than attempting to replicate the formula of the original trilogy, Lucasfilm appears to be embracing a strategic pivot, prioritizing on standalone stories that allow for more creative flexibility and that aren't tightly bound by previous continuity. This approach could pave the way for fresh perspective and broader range of storytelling within the Star Wars universe. In other news, Kennedy confirmed she'll remain in London for the commencement of filming on Starfighter, which is set to begin shooting in September. She enthusiastically teased the upcoming project, saying it's going to be pretty big. This update indicates a significant new cinematic adventure is on the horizon for the beloved galaxy far, far away. In development is The Mandalorian and Grogu. We know that's pre-production, currently scheduled to be released on May 22nd. Starfighter is currently released May 2027. Rey Focus, The Rise of Skywalker sequel, no release date, directed by Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy and starring Daisy Ridley. There's also early development, James Mangold, Dawn of the Jedi, Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy, right? Taika Waititi's Star Wars film, Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron film, Donnie Glover's Lando film, Simon Kinberg's Star Wars trilogy. They just said they're not doing trilogies. Okay. As for the next film set to hit theaters, a trailer for Star Wars The Mandalorian and Grogu was released at the Star Wars Celebration event in Japan, although it has yet to be formally released online. That film is currently slated to release 2026, May 22nd. Okay. I'm confused, Kris Carr.
Yeah.
Isn't this the same plan that was always the plan?
That's what it sounds like. But also, it's always one of those things like, yeah, this all sounds good if you make them.
Right. They haven't done a movie since 2019.
Yeah.
Like, and that slate that I just read you, there's nothing new. It's all the same stuff. We're focusing. We have a whole new direction. Where's the slate? Everything you know about already.
I genuinely, when I got the show notes today, I went, I have to be reading this wrong. Because it was that idea of, well, what's the new development? Where's the new thing? What is the exciting announcement that I'm supposed to be talking about?
Well, they had it was like, we're going to do all the standalone stories is what they said a while ago. And then they said, well, Solo didn't do very well on a standalone story. So we're not going to do standalone stories. We're going to do this. And then they did standalone stories anyway. And then they announced Starfighter and everything as standalone story. And they were going to do Rogue Squadron, which was a standalone story. They've been planning on standalone. This is nothing new. It's like, let me clarify. I think it's the right strategy, and I think you should do this, and you should try new adventures and branch off to new things. But this isn't a new strategy; it's the same strategy that you had. We just had, like you said, we haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, it's just this strategy is now being said with a lot of confidence. I feel.
I think that's what it is. It's just a matter of like, no. We really want to focus in on our creators and let them go and build out things from there. Great. What announcements? We're not really. I mean, you don't have to make announcements, but you're not really making an announcement. You're not. This is about the pure definition of a nothing burger that you're going to get.
Exactly.
But I will say, I am, and call me. It's one of those things. You shame. First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. But I'm getting kind of hopeful for Starfighter.
I mean, how can you not, though?
Right?
Everything about it seems so promising. I love the idea of this particular type of Star Wars one-off too.
Yeah.
Like, it's the problem the whole time, right? This has been a galaxy far, far away. A galaxy. And instead, and I know I say this all the time, it's been this weird Dickensian nonsense of everyone is interconnected and related somehow. And that seems like such a waste of a whole ass galaxy.
Right. And I think that's kind of essentially what she's trying to say there. But
yeah.
What I like about this, first of all, I like that it's as you say, it's 5 years past Rise of Skywalker. So we know that the things have happened in the past, and you can mention them, but not everybody has to be related to it. But things are different 5 years. I mean, things are going to be different here in 5 years. So 5 years, a lot has happened. A lot will happen. What's the galaxy shaped like? What did Rey do with the galaxy themselves? I think Rey needs to make a cameo in this film. I really do. I think she needs to make a cameo. Especially if they're going to branch off. And I think that's what they could do here. Instead of making this the Rey movie an episode 10, you make it essentially a spinoff to Starfighter. And if she gets involved in a plot point or whatever it might be for a scene or two, you don't want to make it her movie. And then it's like, oh, that's what they're setting up there, which then spawns into her movie and her adventure and what's going on with Jedi Academy or whatever might be happening on her side of the galaxy. You can start to get a little bit more excitement. I still stand by. I don't think Chinoy will be directing that movie. I do think it will happen, but I think someone else will be directing it. And I think that by putting Rey back into the franchise, you get a little bit more of the anticipation behind it. But what do you think about that?
I like that a lot. And not just the anticipation aspect. I think for the people who weren't ever on board or at least lost interest with Rey, with the, I hate this term, the Mary Sue-ness of her, because I feel like we just throw that term around sometimes. But I do think you need to ease us back into, hey, this is what the world is like now, and have some references or even, news footage or something. A nice little Easter egg here and there that all of us who are looped into this are going to go, oh, hey, there's a reference to Rey. I can't wait for that next moment. And also I'm seeing the positive or negative changes that have happened in the galaxy since this latest defeat of the Empire. Yeah, right? Because it always feels cyclical. So we need to see what's going on.
Agreed. And it's like, you don't want to ignore, what you don't want to do is, well, we don't want anybody related. We don't want anything. We don't even acknowledge that anything else happened in this world. You gotta acknowledge that the events that happened in this whole entire galaxy happened. So if somebody mentions Jedi or somebody mentions the Sith or the Old Republic, whatever, you can mention it. You just don't. Not everybody has, like you said, everybody has to be related and all that. But we need to know what has happened since the fall of the First Order. What's happened since those times? And I like the fact that we're leading with this. I guess he's a pilot or whatever she might be, and it's not like a grand scheme thing. It's a side adventure film that seems that it's going to be big from hearing what she said. Plus the fact Sean Levy's coming off $1 billion made movie. He's probably they're giving him a big budget, as is deserved, and I think they're going to have a lot of fun with this one. And that's what, and with Mia Goth now being cast in this movie, I just feel like it's going to throw some more excitement into it, because as much as I'm curious and will be seeing obviously Mandalorian and Grogu, or as they say, the Mandalorian and Grogu in theaters.
Why haven't they hired you?
Well, because I'm saying it in jest, because I think it's a terrible title.
But they clearly love that voice, though, because that's how all this stuff sounds.
Isn't it such a ridiculous title, though?
Mm-hmm. It feels like a 90s Don Bluth film.
It is. Join the little green guy and the guy with the helmet in The Mandalorian and Grogu.
And then we have some nice like instrumental.
Yeah, that's it. Hate the title. However, I do think that it makes sense, because they want to really showcase Grogu. That's what's going to get people into the theater.
And they're sick of people calling him Baby Yoda.
Yeah, and they're going to get kids in the theater to see it too. That's what they're going to do. And this is the Moana 2 treatment. So this is essentially just Mandalorian season 4 adapted to a film, which is the right move.
Yes,
but it's not developed for the big screen. The first one developed for the big screen is going to be this Sean Levy movie, which essentially could turn everything around for Lucasfilm if it hits.
It's the hope. And I'm a huge Solo apologist. I think that movie's so fun. Talking about drug smuggling in Star Wars. Come on, give me more of that. I love that kind of stuff.
I like the second half.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. You're never going to win me over with how he got his name.
I mean, that is trash.
It's atrocious.
That's very, very fair. Also, the dice is still a thing. I'm like, yeah, these are a really huge deal, I guess. Now.
No. It's like, no, thank you. But it's not terrible. It's just, but the thing was, as I mentioned, they were in a place where they were making plans and they bailed because they got scared because that movie didn't hit. And that movie, they didn't really analyze it, why it missed, and part of it was not even their fault. It was Bob Iger's fault. Bob Iger wanted them to put that movie out in May, right after Last Jedi hit and a month after Infinity War hit. It's like, what are you doing? And you've been leading, and you just had 3 back-to-back December massive hits in Rise of Sky, or the first one is Force Awakens.
Force Awakens, yeah.
Rogue One, Last Jedi, boom, boom, boom. All 3 of them hit in December. Solo does it make $1 billion? Does it make $1 billion if you put it in December of that year? No, but it would have made a lot more than it did.
I was going to say it wouldn't be as much of a hit to the studio.
Yeah, no, it would have been, because there was no competition in December. There was nothing there, and it would have given people some time to get that friction of The Last Jedi out of there, which also brings me to that slate. I still can't believe that Rian Johnson's name is on that thing of the Rian Johnson trilogy. Who they're saying no more trilogies, and then another Simon Kinberg trilogy. Yeah, we're not doing trilogies anymore, except the other two that we announced.
Yeah.
except those.
We're not gonna. It's like when somebody does I don't drink anymore, but I will have wine. Like that's not right.
Right.
I'm just shocked, honestly, because again, I'm also an apologist for Rian Johnson, where I really enjoyed where this could have gone, and I despise where it went.
Yeah.
Rise of Skywalker, that is not a movie for me. If you guys like it, that's great, but that is not for me. And I'm more so shocked that he would come back after the fandom, and a very specific sect of the fandom, right? The more loud, toxic version.
I think he likes
Yeah?
that. Yeah, I do. I think he likes
man, he's got thicker skin than me. I mean, I can take some insults, but woof, magoof.
He's a Dukes Up guy. He kind of knew what was coming. I thoroughly don't like his movie. However, I do like him very much. I think the Breaking Bad episodes are some of the best episodes ever directed. Were the ones that he did. I think that I like the Knives Out trilogy. I love Looper.
Looper's so good.
I just don't like the choices that he made in that movie whatsoever. And because this is a whole different conversation, but what I don't think is going to happen is, it's not about why I think Rian Johnson would want to do it. If you're Disney, why would you want him to do it? If you're Disney,
I think it is maybe because of just that controversy of so many people doing well, this ought to be good and coming in for a hate watch, which feels weird. But it feels like maybe that's a little aspect of it.
Not
You
that
got to give
fine.
him credit for having vision, at least,
But Lucasfilm is the one who essentially has the vision if they want him to stay on. If I'm Bob Iger, I'm going, no, you guys can't. We can't do that again. It was the one I remember, and I bring this up all the time. When Mark Ellis and I were doing Schmoes, I remember when we reviewed Man of Steel, and I really liked the movie. He didn't. And it was the first time I had ever seen really hateful, kind of trollish comments before, especially against Mark. And I had never seen that before. And it was foreign to me. And so the first thing I thought was, these DC fans are out of their minds, is the first thing I thought. These DC fans are nuts. I was like, you never see this with Star Wars. You never see this with Marvel. And then talking about Force Awakens and everything too. And it was like kumbaya, everybody running around, holding hands with in the Star Wars world. I'm like, this is the best fandom of all time. I'm like, everybody loves each other. I was going to Star Wars Celebration. People are, I'm like, and then you look at DC and it's just like, argh. When Last Jedi came out, it was like the North and the South. It just split it all apart.
It imploded.
I couldn't believe it. And I was looking around, and then eventually it happened with Marvel and everything else too. But I remember looking around going, this is way worse than DC, like way worse. And that, if I'm Bob Iger, I don't want that for my brand. Again, I'm trying to build this brand back. I don't, and the other thing is Taika Waititi movie is never going to happen.
No.
Come on.
I don't believe that at all.
Nor should it. I think his, again, using the example of, I think that his directed version of The Mandalorian was great. The stuff let me rephrase that. And I think I've said this before. If he directs something that someone else wrote, then I'm on board. He didn't write Ragnarok. He certainly added his style to it. He didn't write those Mandalorian episodes. At least I don't believe so. And he directed the hell out of those episodes. I believe he wrote Love and Thunder. I believe. Maybe I'm wrong, but it certainly had his stamp.
Pretty sure he did.
And it was not good. It's bad. I just watched it again recently. It's a bad movie. And I don't think Star Wars needs that. I think Star Wars needs hope. Star Wars needs fun. Star Wars needs new lore, and Star Wars needs people who really get it and want to build it out. And I'm hoping that's what Sean Levy does.
I hope so. He's really good at world building.
He is. I like what he's done. I mean, I love Real Steel. I love that movie.
Real Steel's fun. Adam Project. That movie had no right to be as good as it is.
Yeah. And I think I think that the kind of tone that we're going to get for that Star Wars movie is going to be in the vein of Adam Project. They probably something like that, I would assume. But
yeah,
it doesn't look like, and that's the other thing. It doesn't look like it's going to be. I mean, from what it looks like, it's him and an apprentice, or not apprentice, but like I guess someone who is his assistant. I don't know what Mia got this from. I can't remember how they explained it at Celebration. Do you?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's something like that. But I think that I'm hopeful for it. I really am. And you should also be hopeful because, like you said beforehand, you can announce these things 1,000 times over, but until you shoot it and until, we know it's coming out, we're not going to believe you. But I'm starting to believe it. It's like, look, we look like we're starting to shoot this year, and they're making these big announcements. You got this guy who kind of can get movies done. You got a big movie star attached to it. I feel like it's going to happen. I feel like we're going to get this movie.
I'm slightly more hopeful, but I've gotten to the point where I trust and love no one.
Yeah.
So,
understood. Yep, I get it.
Once I see a trailer is when I'm going to be like, okay.
What do you guys think? Do you think that this movie's going to happen? Do you think that this is a new strategy and we don't know what the hell we're talking about? That this is they're changing things up. That this is so different from what they said before? Or do you think that no, it's exactly what they said they were going to do, or they're actually going to stick with it? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. Comment away, whether it is in the live chat, whether it is on the Clips channel, on the replay, Spotify, wherever it is. Make your voices heard. All right, before we jump in, we have a lot of other things to discuss today. I wanted to tell you guys about our friends over at both Trade Coffee and Hydro, two people that I just love. I just love them. I'm telling you guys about them. I really hope you've been listening. I'll tell you a little bit more about them. Here you go. man, oh man, I get it. You're like, I have my go-to coffee. I'm good. It's familiar. Does the job. Yeah, but then I tell you that you're missing out on something way better. Trade. They introduce you to new, freshly roasted coffees, and they're next level good. Once you taste it, there's no going back. I'm not kidding you. It'll ruin boring coffee for you forever in the best way possible. Trade is the #1 coffee destination, bringing you fresh coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. You take their quiz, and in under a minute, they're going to match you with the perfect coffee. If that first bag isn't quite right, Trade's going to replace it for free until they nail it. Trade's prices are on par with grocery store brands, but the quality, it's next level. Plus, you're supporting local roasters, and it is a win-win. I love it. I've been using them for so long. I've been talking to me. If you've been listening to this show, you know how much Trade is like my thing. I have this big bag right now. I'm going to switch over to the next big bag because that one's out, and I've been using it. I've been every morning just been like, oh, here we go. I get excited for my coffee because of Trade. Right now, Trade is offering our listeners 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/Kristian. Exclusive offer for you guys. That's drinktrade, TRADE.com, Kristian, for 50% off your 1-month trial. drinktrade.com/Kristian. Warm weather hits suddenly. I'm juggling vacations. There's visitors, zero routine. Hydro brings me back to that structure so I can get quick, efficient workouts that keep me feeling grounded no matter what my calendar looks like. So for Hydro, if you didn't know, I've been telling you guys, I've been going and working out 4 days a week, but I need other things sometimes when I can't get to the gym. And I've been really loving Hydro. Because one thing that I love, you never get bored. Hydro's got tons of workouts with actual Olympians, and they're filmed in these gorgeous outdoor spots all over the world. It makes it way easier to stay motivated. It doesn't matter if you're training hard or just trying to stay active. Hydro really meets you where you're at. It's low impact, so it's easy on your joints, but still gives you that perfect mix of strength and cardio. If you're on the fence, there's a free shipping, 30-day risk-free trial, and Hydro offers a full-year warranty. Honestly, no pressure. Just try it and see how it feels. Getting a good sweat used to mean hours in the gym. Hydro, you can do it all at home on my schedule, 20 minutes. Rowing on my Hydro gets me that full-body workout without ever having to leave my house. It's so easy. I have it set up now. I was so excited when I got it, and it really does. You feel like you can't even describe how amazing it is to hit all of these spots. So you can skip the gym, not the workout. Stay on track with Hydro. For a limited time, go to hydro.com and use the code Kristian to save up to $470 off your Hydro. HYDROW.com. Use that code Kristian. Save up to $475. Hydro.com. Use the code Kristian. Thank you to Hydro. Appreciate it. Thank you to Trade Coffee. I hope you guys have been checking those out. I put the links in the description. As always, Kris Carr, are you a big Bruce Springsteen fan?
I love Bruce Springsteen.
Did you see the trailer today?
Yes, I did.
How good was that trailer?
It's so good. And at first, my only little qualm was like, oh man, I wish that there was a little more rasp, but I know he's younger in this. And then Born to Run, baby.
He really, he just, it's so good. But look, here,
It's so
Bruce
good.
Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere. The teaser dropped today. I did a trailer reaction for it a little earlier today as well. 20th Century Studios has unveiled the teaser trailer for Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere. It's the upcoming biopic about Jersey-born rock and roll singer Bruce Springsteen. The Bear star Jeremy Allen White plays the iconic blue-collar American musician who first broke through in the mid-1970s and defined a generation with hit songs across the 80s and the 90s, including Born to Run, Hungry Heart, Dancing in the Dark, Born in the USA, Glory Days, Human Touch, Streets of Philadelphia. Filmmaker Scott Cooper from Crazy Heart, Black Mass, Hostiles pens and directs the film, which chronicles the making of Springsteen's fifth album, 1982's Nebraska. At this point, Springsteen had early success and was on the verge of global superstardom. But he also had ghosts in his past, specifically a rocky relationship with his World War II veteran father, who had serious alcohol abuse and mental health issues and embodied many of the traits these days defined, albeit redactably, as toxic masculinity. The album, recorded on a 4-track recorder in Springsteen's New Jersey bedroom, marked a pivotal time in his life and is considered one of his most artistically strong works, a raw, haunted acoustic record populated by lost souls searching for a reason to believe. The film stars Jeremy Strong as Springsteen's longtime confidant and manager, John Landau, Paul Walter Hauser, who seems to be in everything right now, as guitar tech, Mike, and that's not a bad thing. Mike Batlin, Stephen Graham as Springsteen's father, Gabby Hoffman as Springsteen's mother, Odessa Young as his love interest, Faye, Mark Maron as Chuck Plotkin, and David Krumholtz as Columbia Records executive Al Teller. Springsteen himself has been open, if reserved, about his lifelong battles with depression, seeking therapy, and his own journey exploring masculinity and what the term means. Cooper adapts the script from the book of the same name by Warren Zane. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, opens in cinemas on October 24th. This is also October 24th means they got hopes for Oscars.
Oh, absolutely. They're 100% going to be pushing a huge campaign for Jeremy Allen White.
As they should.
And why wouldn't you?
Yeah, especially, look, and what you were saying, like the first thing for me when I saw it, and it wasn't a matter of like, oh, come on. It was like, okay, they're going with this and they're not doing any prosthetics. They're not trying to make him look like Bruce, because it looks like Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like Bruce at all. But you start listening to him, and you're like, okay, he's got the tone down, and then and I'm assuming that's him singing, right?
What I had read was they were having him do the song, so I need to double check everything that that's still the case. But
well, kudos to him, because when if it was him, and I'm listening to it, I'm going, that sounds like Bruce. That sounds like, his tone and the way that he hits certain notes, and sounds like him. I liked Bohemian Rhapsody, but clearly wasn't Rami Malek singing the songs.
Yeah.
And you don't always have to. So you get the performance, and you see what this is ultimately about. And so there's a song from Bruce Springsteen called "The River," which is one that he sings live. And I have this one from, I think it was it must have been mid 80s when he sang it, and I have it on one of my playlists. And he tells this whole story before the river starts playing. He tells this whole story about his dad, and he talks about his dad often. He used to tell stories about his dad all the time. So right away when I saw that hit, I'm like, okay, they're going this route, and they're really playing into this. And the other thing, Kris, I wanted to bring up to you and see what you thought. I mentioned this in my trailer reaction to it. Most movies, the biopics, although Dylan's movie did not do this, but most movies have the formulaic thing of they're unknown, they get discovered, they hit it big, they have a fall from grace, they either pick it up or they pass away. It's usually how it goes, right? There are a few movies, whether it is, as I mentioned, the Bob Dylan movie or Straight Outta Compton, that show the beginnings of how it all went down and leaves it open for a sequel, right?
Yeah.
Because there's so much of this person's life that you're like, oh, more. I want to see, I haven't seen this movie, and I want to see more of Jeremy Allen White as older Bruce Springsteen also. Do you agree, or is this enough?
Oh, no. Well, I mean, first we got to see this movie.
I know,
but as of right
I know.
now, I'd be very down for that. I would love that. Seeing how he just kind of evolves with the E Street Band and everything.
Yep.
Having Clarence really featured, because I just loved Clarence so much. I think there's so much you could do there that would be really, really fun and interesting. And to your point too, that breaks up that very formulaic delivery system that we have as well. Because what I always take away from a Bruce Springsteen show is joy.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yep.
just like absolutely tangible, palpable joy. And watching everyone just perform together has always been so wonderful. And I think that's something that we really miss a lot in these kinds of films. It's so important to cover the actual tragedy and hardship of what goes into being an artist, and how, with all this money and fame, how that can really turn your life around or make it horrific. But I think Bruce Springsteen's such a great person to kind of analyze too, going, look at somebody who has really had a fun, inspiring career and done so much and has so much still to say.
Agreed. I would love to see how they actually make this all work, because if it's a really popular movie and it really hits and they can do more of it, I'd love to see it. So we'll see. Curious what you guys think. Put your thoughts in there. Did you like the trailer? Did you not like the trailer? What say you? Let's hear it. Kris Carr, we got 8 questions so far. You need about 100. You need 100. We're just about little under 100 right
Guys,
now.
I don't know if this is swing you in any way, shape, or form, but my dog is turning 15 in a couple days. Okay. I gotta throw him a quinceañero. We gotta, I gotta do some stuff for this dog.
You do something for the dog. He's 15 years old. Wow, look at that.
He's 15. Yeah, Gimli, son of Gloin.
Wow, that's good for him. That's amazing.
Mhm.
15, man. All right, here's the next story, everybody. Aaron Pierre is now rumored for James Bond, and the internet's fine with it. Acclaimed British actor Aaron Pierre has joined the list of names being considered to take on the role of James Bond. I didn't know he was British. I thought he was American.
He's that good.
Yeah, I know. I thought he was American. While rumors about who has been cast as the next James Bond have flowed pretty steadily in recent years, talk on that front ground to a halt when Amazon took full creative control of the franchise from the producers back in February. While Amazon has made it clear they intend to reboot the franchise, starting with a major feature film first, what approach they take is anyone's guess right now. So it's not clear what kind of actor they might have. Now, after several months of noting regarding potential casting, industry scooper Daniel RPK is claiming that Pierre is in contention for the part. Pierre first came to the attention for his role as Dev M in TV series Krypton before jumping up a step in Barry Jenkins' The Underground Railroad series and M. Night Shyamalan's Old. Last year, however, his real breakthrough was the lead role in Jeremy Saulnier's acclaimed action drama Rebel Ridge on Netflix, the voice of Mufasa in Disney's Mufasa the Lion King, and he's about to be seen in a major role in the 4th season of The Morning Show on Apple. He's currently filming a co-leading role as Green Lantern John Stewart in Lanterns. So far, the early reaction to the potential casting seems to be quite positive on social media. David Heyman and Amy Pascal are producing the new film, which hasn't set a director or production start date as of yet. Kris Carr, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on the potential of Aaron Pierre doing it, first off? Secondly, how true do you think it is, and do you think it'll happen?
I love this. We're getting a younger Bond, so we got to talk about that too, of having a lot of time to work with them, a lot of time to see them grow into this role and everything. I'm a huge fan of him too. I mean, Rebel Ridge, I think what he did in there was really fantastic, but Krypton is the first place I saw him. And that show was such a sleeper cell for like people who were going to be big names. Hannah Waddingham is in that show. It's wild. But I do think that this is a actually potential thing that could happen. I would give this like an 80, 90% chance of happening. He is so hot right now. He is such a sought after actor right now. And on top of that, he is literally so hot. So, I am so sorry to do that. But James Bond, there is a certain level of attractiveness that comes with that character of having somebody who is suave, who is debonair, who you could understand schmoozing and being so charming that they can get into any situation they need to. And I feel like he really, really hits all those boxes that we need checked on this.
I can't speak enough about him yet because I only have Rebel Ridge really to build off. I think he's got a lot of charisma. I think he's a very good actor. Clearly, I thought he was American. So he's got the charm. He's got the presence, right? I don't think it's going to happen.
Why? Why don't you want me to be happy?
I think you're going to be happy enough with him in DC. I think he's going to be tied up in DC.
But I'm selfish.
I know, but I think he's going to be tied up in DC. I think I think the role in DC is going to be bigger than people realize. I don't think it's just going to be Lanterns. I think he's going to be in movies, and I think he's going to be in other things. And if you're James Gunn and Peter Safran, like, hey, listen, we're all happy. You gonna do James Bond? We got you first. So
I mean, they definitely don't want another mustache gate or something.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, so that is the question as far as scheduling goes, because who gets priority? You would assume they locked him down as John Stewart for a handful and not just that show. It'd be pretty stupid if you didn't.
True. I feel like DC is going to really take a page from Marvel's oversaturation, though, and really focus on that quality over quantity.
Agreed.
And so I feel like we'll have him peppered in. Obviously, too, I think the Lanterns are going to make that leap to the big screen. We're going to have them be very, very important characters in that because they're a huge part of the Justice League. But I always like to just bring this up of a lot of times we can make something work if we want it enough. Laura Linney, she was filming Love Actually at the same time as Mystic River. And she was just flying back and forth.
She wasn't the main lead,
She
though.
wasn't a huge part, but I'm just saying, if
You
we
can
can
do it.
traverse.
I think the example you could make, but nobody's going to do this these days,
Mhm.
is Michael J. Fox in both Family Ties and Back to the Future. The man
Fair.
didn't sleep. He
No.
literally worked all day on Family Ties, left Family Ties, shot Back to the Future, went back and shot Family Ties. But you can't do that. That's just you're asking, again, mental health wise and everything else too. It's just too much exhaustion. However, the other reason I don't think it's going to happen is I think they already played their cards on who James Bond is. I think that again, I can't remember who told me this. I think it was something that we talked about on this show with the chat, whatever, too. And I think it's Omega, which is the watch of Bond, right?
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure that they announced that their new spokesperson is Aaron Taylor Johnson. And that, to me, where there's smoke, there's fire.
I mean, I wouldn't be upset about that one either.
I don't think anyone would be.
No.
And he is phenomenal.
He's great.
He would be great as James Bond.
He made Craven almost watchable.
Truth. I think he's going to be James Bond. I think he's going to be James Bond. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson will be. I think that Aaron Pierre went in for meetings, and I think that they want him, in meetings and that. But I don't think that it's going to happen. So I don't know. We'll see. I could be wrong. What do you guys think? Do you think that A, this is a good casting choice in general? B, do you think it's going to happen? That he's actually going to get cast? Or C, is it going to be Aaron Taylor Johnson? Or D, none of the above? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. Okay, moving up the ladder. 12 so far, Kris Carr. I like it. 12.
Oh, come on, guys.
Not too
Let's
bad.
go.
Let's go. Let's see. Oh, I like this. I don't even know if this was sent to you today. And if it wasn't, I apologize. I'll read it off because I didn't even know until I saw it just now. And I'm sure our producer, Luke, probably didn't put it out there because he was probably too young to even realize what this series was. Netflix.
What?
Planning a new Land of the Lost series, to which I say thank you very much. And I hope they take it serious and they don't do the Will Ferrell thing again. Netflix and Legendary Television, Legendary's doing it, are reportedly at work on a new update of Sid and Marty Krofft's 1970s NBC, who's playing Chaka, NBC sci-fi adventure serial Land of the Lost. The Crofts and Marty's daughter, Deanna Krofft Pope, will produce the project, which is in its early stages with a writer search currently underway. The story follows a father, Rick, and his two children who accidentally go through a portal and find themselves trapped in a world inhabited by dinosaurs. Dinosaurs? Amongst those living in the world is the T-Rex, they nicknamed Grumpy, reptilian humanoids called Sleestaks, and the primate-like Bakuni people with the family befriending one named Chaka. All right. The original series ran for 3 seasons in the 70s and blended stop-motion animation with live action. It became a minor cult success, leading to a 91 series remake. In 2009, Will Ferrell and Danny McBride led a big screen reimagining of the property. Netflix has a history with rebooting classic series such as Lost in Space, which ran for 3 seasons on the streamer. They already did a goofy version of this with Danny McBride and Will Ferrell. You got to go more of the let's go the serious route and see if we can make this kind of a cool fantasy series with the technology we have today, right?
Absolutely. Well, and especially with, this being the swan song for Stranger Things this year, I think you bring in another show that has some creepy creatures, some really great prosthesis work, and some spooky elements, and you can do so much with a show like this.
I really hope. I love the fact that it's Netflix that's doing it, right? Because it's gonna be quality, and you're right. It's right. At Stranger Things, they need some new things to do, and like who they're gonna bring in for a writer, what kind of cast, that type of thing. But I think you can make it clever. The idea of taking some of the crazy stuff that's out there with science now, with portals and black holes and anti-gravity and things of that nature, that they actually go through this and they go through this portal, and for some reason was it another dimension? Is it another multiverse? Is it what is it, right? That puts them into this place, and you can spend a few seasons there. I'm watching it.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll be having my gummies while I'm watching it, but I'm watching it.
I was going to say, this is going to fill the pit that La Brea left for me of, I really love this. This is kind of silly, but I'm into it.
I'm in, but what if they turn it around and it's like a Lost type series and it's not silly? You know
I
what I
would love
mean?
that.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like, so
Mhm.
I think that sometimes people get tied up with this. Well, the last one was so cheesy. Why would this be any different? Because it's all about reimagining and who's telling the story. And that's why I always bring up like Masters of the Universe, right? It's like, yes, the He-Man of the 80s, which I loved. It's a kind of silly thing with from the outfits and everything else that's going on, the animation, um, the jokes. I love that series. I love it. But the 2002 one is more reimagined in a version of like serious fantasy, Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars. Doesn't mean you can't make both of them work. It's just a matter of the take and what people want from it. There are certain, like, look, Superman's a perfect example. Superman is a perfect example. Superman right now is going more so for the hopeful comic book version, lighter, like, bright colors and all of that. It doesn't mean that Man of Steel shouldn't exist. It
Yeah.
just means it was a different take that you either dug or you didn't. It doesn't mean, well, that's just never, because I talk about it with Coy all the time. And Coy doesn't necessarily say that they have that version of it, you can watch it, but some people think that version should have never even been made. I disagree with that. I think you got to take cracks at different things and see different tones.
Well, much like comic books themselves,
Right.
right? There's a reason why we have all these different writers and why we eventually had multiverses, because people wanted to play in that sandbox however they wanted to. And that's
Mhm.
one of the most exciting things about revisiting IP is going, hey, I really like the bones of this. I really like a whole bunch of these concepts, but what if? Because that's all a reboot ever is. Anytime we retouch something, it's just us doing fan fiction. And I think
Yeah.
that's fun. And if we can do a really cool show that harbors back to that 1970s vibe where everyone was in the latex monster suits, but make it something epic and scary and interesting and modern, why not? And then you
Why
can
not?
always go back to the others.
If it doesn't work, and if it works, then you made the right choice. So
Yeah.
I ask you guys, do you care about Land of the Lost? Is it one of those things you're like, well, I don't know what that is. I'll have to see if it's any good, and then I'll watch it. Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. Sticking with the dramas, the real serious dramas, Harold and Kumar, or it's in the works. About time. Cobra Kai creators John Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, and Josh Heald have finalized a deal to write a fourth installment of the stoner buddy comedy franchise Harold and Kumar. Hurwitz and Schlossberg will also direct the feature, which is in development at Mandate Pictures, a company owned by Lionsgate. The film launched in 2004 with Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, which the team penned. It was followed by 2008's Harold and Kumar Escape Guantanamo Bay and 2011's A Very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas. The trio wrote and produced all three films, with Hurwitz and Schlossberg directing the second. Greg Shapiro also produced the films and returns in the same capacity here. John Cho and Cal Penn, who played the title characters of the Korean-American Harold Lee and the Indian-American Kumar Patel across the three prior films, are expected to return. No acting deals have been made, and the involvement of Neil Patrick Harris, who was also a key cast member, is presently unclear. The films blend stoner comedy, sex comedy, dash of social and political commentary. Reviews have been mixed to positive, and the trio of films to date have grossed $102.8 million worldwide off a combined budget of $40 million. That's a really good number all the way around. Nice to see that the guys are going back. If people have been watching my show long enough, you know that I'm friendly with all three of those guys, and I love them. They're really nice people. They were very kind with me when it came to Cobra Kai. They not only did they let me host a event for them, which was amazing. I was walking around an event with Ralph Macchio I got to introduce both Ralph and William Zabka at the Nokia Theater together, and it was all because of those guys. They asked me and said, "Hey, we know you're a big fan. You want to host this thing?" I was like, "Yes," and I came out. They interviewed, so I'm always rooting for them. I like the Harold and Kumar movies. I actually think that Harold and Kumar Christmas is one of the movies that uses 3D the best.
Really?
Oh my gosh, it was real 3D. It was during the time when everybody was doing fake 3D and like the what was it called? The converted 3D and all that.
Mhm.
And I remember when we went to see it, I was like, this is real 3D. Like, this is actual 3, and like the way that they used it was really smart. It was funny. It was part of the gimmick and it worked. So I root for them. And I hope that anytime you do a fourth movie, especially in a comedy series, you might be going to the well too many times. But if they have a take, and everybody is back on board, and this is post Cobra Kai, and they're feeling excited about it, and they want to do a new one, I'm all for it. How about yourself?
Well, I'm gonna lose all credibility. I was today years old when I learned there were 3 of these movies.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I have never watched the first one all the way through. I've seen
Oh,
it in
wow.
bits and pieces when people
Okay.
put it on at parties and stuff, or well, no, let's be real. When people want to drop an edible
Yeah.
and want to watch this movie.
Mhm.
I enjoyed what I saw, and I love the Neil Patrick Harris clips. I think they're hilarious and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um,
You got to see it. It's a
I need
really
to add it to the list. But I love these guys. I mean, John Cho, I think, is incredible. And obviously, Cal Penn, too, has done not only such incredible acting work, but like what he's done with activism and what he's done on his own like free time outside of the entertainment world is so interesting. And the fact that they both want to come back to this and revisit the well, that's something as somebody who hasn't seen all these movies gets me excited of, oh, you guys actually like making these and have a fun time doing them. Then I definitely should check these out.
Yep. I think you should. So you guys, Harold and Kumar, a new one. You in? You out? What say you? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. Okay, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else as far as big stories that we should really cover here today? I'm going to look. I know that Luke sent some. Is there anything in general that we should talk about? I think that I hit all the big ones, but we'll double check. Carrie Con Jurassic World. Okay, yeah, Jurassic World. We'll do that one.
Okay.
There's the first social media reactions landing. There was a world premiere last night, so we'll talk about those. I don't know when I'm going to see it just yet. Do you have any idea when you're going to see it?
No idea.
Okay. Are you? I forget. Do you care at all or not really about this?
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, the last set of movies just kind of made me go,
Agreed.
I like who's in this one.
But that's. Let me see what the first reactions are. I haven't looked yet. I haven't even checked. But what you just said there is what they had. They had, oh, I'm excited about a new cast. But then you saw the trailer, and it seems like it's just a new cast in the same formulaic nonsense with the new monster of the week.
Yeah.
When they had an opportunity to go smaller and go back to like the roots. So let's see. Let's see what they say. Maybe people loved it. I don't know. I got a screening for it next week, but let's see what this is actually from what I just saw in my email. So, okay. Jurassic World Rebirth first social media reactions land following the world premiere. Now, world premiere really doesn't mean anything, though, because everybody usually gets caught up in the hoopla. It's got to really stink if people didn't like it after the world premiere. Universal Pictures had held the world premiere of Jurassic World Rebirth in London last night. The first social media reactions have now been shared. Mark Cassidy, Jurassic World Rebirth held its premiere in London last night. The first social media reactions for this latest entry in the roaringly successful franchise have been shared. There are only a handful of reactions so far, but aside from the one vaguely negative post, it sounds like the studio may have delivered a return to form. Yeah, it's a premiere, though. I don't know how much I believe any of this. The initial response to most major movies does tend to lean positive, if not outright glowing. And since we only have a few posts to go with, we'll update as more come in. We obviously won't have a balanced consensus of the movie until the full reviews drop. Jazz Tansey, I don't know Jazz, is a roaring triumph and perfect entry into the franchise. Loved all the new dinosaurs, and boy, there's some that are scary. Get ready to fall in love with Dolores. Loved it, and what a beautiful homage to the original. Barry Levitt, hugely impressed by Jurassic World Rebirth, a film that understands dinosaurs are both incredibly majestic and utterly terrifying. The ensemble is fun, and Dolores is the GOAT. So Clayton Davis, I know Clayton. Well, Jurassic World Rebirth is a movie. It has that going for it. Clayton Davis is the only one I know. He's like that's like an official critic so far. The other two might be, but Clayton Davis is the only name I recognize, and he thought it was the farts. Jack Hardwick. That doesn't mean anything, by the way, but still. Jurassic World Rebirth, loved it. Even Jonathan Bailey's American accent. Not that I paid much attention to his lines. Okay. Universal Pictures, Jurassic World, 5 years. Okay, that's it. I got nothing out of any of that.
No.
I got nothing out of it.
It's a movie is always my favorite movie review.
Yeah.
It exists.
I got nothing out of that. Davis is part of the Critics' Choice, and he's one of the higher ups over there too. So he was only name I recognized. The problem with premieres, though, a lot of times what they do now, they used to 10 years ago, they used to invite everybody. You used to invite all the critics and everybody to the things too. Now it's really just littered with influencers, and
Yes.
influencers don't have anything to gain by giving negative reviews. So I love it. Like one person, I didn't even listen to his lines. Just wanted to see him. It's great. Kind of review is that?
Well,
And
it's also really easy to love something when you get to walk the red carpet, when you
yeah,
get to see your Getty image, when you get wined and dined at an
you're
after party.
bumping shoulders with the
Yeah.
cast while you're in the thing. It's like one of those. I just couldn't. I'm telling you, I always use Thor: Love and Thunder as the example. I was there. I was at the premiere, and people were hooting and hollering and loving it and coming out like they just saw the best thing in the world. I'm like, what'd you guys watch? I'm like, even the other day, I want to see F1 very much. I really want to see F1. I was invited to go to the premiere. And go. I don't want to. Premieres don't excite me. I don't get excited about going to premieres. I don't just get excited about seeing celebrities. And it's not. I want to go to the press screening. I want to be able to go for a lot of different. One, I know I'm around people who are just watching the movie. Either you're gonna like it, you're not gonna like it, whatever it is. Plus, I can get there. I can get the hell out of there and be home in time. That's it. And I don't, you're waiting for speeches, and the next thing you know, the thing starts at 9:00 at night. It's like, no, thank you. It was funny. I was at a screening last night. I told you for 28 years later, and there were people who were there, went to the premiere. They were there, and this one guy's like, I didn't get to write my article. I got home at like 11:45 at night, and I'm like, F that.
Oh no.
100%. Some of the old man energy.
11 p.m.
break.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I've been asleep for 3 hours. How dare?
Yeah, out cold. But I love it. But anyway, so it's hard for me to take the premiere reactions seriously. I just don't. We have to see what those initial reactions are going to be once those screenings come out, and then what the fans think of it once the fans see it too, like the full thing. So I think I saw two conflicting things, because I thought this movie was going to, because all three of those movies, the Jurassic World movies, they all made $1 billion, which is crazy, because I only liked one of them.
Yeah.
And the other two I think stink, like just stink to high heaven. But they made $1 billion. This movie, I was like, oh, look, here we go again. It's tracking at 135. I heard it was tracking at 135 for the 5-day and not for the 3-day.
Oh.
So if it's tracking 135 for 5 days on that holiday weekend, that's not great.
No, that's not nearly as impressive.
Not as impressive. It's 135 for 3-day weekend. Okay. And then if it's 155, 160 for the 5-day, all right. Let's see. But nothing so far out of those reviews mean anything to me, because there's just, like I said, you have one, the one critic that I recognize said it stinks. The other I didn't recognize the first woman. I don't know. She very well could be someone that's an established critic. I just don't know her. And then the other guy is talking about the guy's looks and everything too.
He's just got a crush, and
Mhm.
who can blame him? But that doesn't help.
Which is fine, but that's not your. But I didn't listen to the lines. Well, then how am I going to take you?
I didn't listen to what the actor said, but he was really good.
Right. It's like I listen. I understand that when I go to see After the Hunt, I got to review the story and not Julia Roberts. I get it. And I will be. Got to review the story. Okay. What do you guys think about any of this? Jurassic World. You think it's going to do well? You think that we should be taking this seriously, these little reactions that came out so far, or let's wait until it all goes down? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. All right, we're going to get to the questions. Currently, we stand at 20. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Want Kris Carr to tell you about her wonderful podcast and Two Filthy Casuals. And we are going to get that plug, other stuff she's working on. Kris, what say you?
Well, today I'm in the booth also, because usually I'm out in the other room. But I had a recording this morning and a recording this afternoon as well. So it's a very busy voiceover day. So if you ever wanted to learn about voiceover, you can always contact me about that. Speakfriendstudio.com. We do classes, we do demos. It's really, really fun. We do dialect classes. Everything's Lord of the Rings. And you're going to help support me and my dogs and my husband. So that's nice. I also have a podcast called Two Filthy Casuals with the hilarious Amy Newman. What we have coming out on Friday is we are celebrating Power Rangers Power Rangers, the movie, the Mighty Morphin movie, their 30th anniversary. Oh my gosh, we're all crumbling to dust. I feel so old. But that is being celebrated on the 30th of this month. So we are doing a podcast with superfan Rob Buck about that episode. So check it all out. We've got a lot of good stuff going on.
Please go and check it out and support. We put Chris's links in the description. Okay, here we go. So the way it works again is that if you guys want to help Kris defeat John Rocha, you got to get her past 113. I think it was what they told me yesterday. 113. You got to get her past that. Can you do it? If not, we have a shorter show today. That's what it is. That's how it goes. That's how it works. And we start with the first one, and that is Joe Ryder. Gunn said they'd be using the same actors across live action, animated, etc. Alan Tudyk voiced Clayface, but wasn't cast in the film. Did he redact? Yeah, he did, because they did that for, I mean, it's also, I can't remember, there's another person they did for that too. Well, clearly whoever voiced Batman is not going to be that Batman. There's other people too that were in Clayface and Creature Commandos and other things that not going to play the same role. I think I think he spoke too soon when it came to that stuff.
Yeah. Well, as great as Alan would be as a live action Clayface too, I feel like he's better utilized. I don't know. I feel like you could do a lot with him. So good. He's so versatile.
K2SO was like in Andor. Oh my God. So good.
So good.
Okay. Let's see. So next one after that. Thank you, Joe, for that one. And we are going to continue on today and go with Johnny Venerable in another reality. Tony Gilroy is adapting the Plagueis novel. Oh my gosh. Denis Villeneuve is spearheading a series of the Knights of the Republic films. Why are you teasing me, Johnny? Get me to that world. Do you know you got a wormhole that can get me there? Please. I forget, Kris, are you a Knights of the Republic gal?
I do not know enough about the extended Star Wars universe.
Knights
Logan, my husband, though, is insane about this stuff. He is obsessed. We have like Dash Rendar. That's his name, I think. A bunch of his action figures and stuff. And
well, so Knights of the Republic was a game, a video game, which is my favorite video game of all time. And outside of Empire Strikes Back, it's probably my favorite Star Wars story of all time. Like, and I always wanted to see it adapted. It's just fantastic. It really is fantastic. The Plagueis novel is a straight up gangster story that they could have adapted if Tony Gilroy would have done that. Oh my God, would have been so good. But it'll never happen. But man, I wish that it would. Brandon Lopez, big love to Kris Carr. I'm hyped for Superman and the new DCU. David shines as Soups, and James Gunn's the perfect DC visionary. With Feige maybe out post Secret Wars, is Gunn's no quantity mandates a wink to join DC? I don't know if I believe those reports. Did you see those reports that Feige might be stepping down after Secret Wars?
I don't really believe it.
Me either.
What else does he? I mean, I know he really loves Star Wars, but that seat has not been vacated.
No, but it will. I mean, look, if that was the case, if it was like if they announced that Kevin Feige was going over there to run the joint, that would be pretty special. I'd be excited to see because he'd at least give him a plan. And I'd love to see that.
And then we'd have an actual announcement to talk about.
I know. I would.
Rad.
Yeah, I would love to see that, but I don't know. I don't think though. No, it's to say is Gunn's no quantity mandate a wink to join DC? As far as Kevin Feige joining, that's what he's also saying that Kevin Feige going to DC. Yeah, I mean that was like Roger Clemens going to the Yankees. I can't see that happening. I think that Kevin Feige would, as Kris and I were just talking about, I think he'd want to get out of the comic book world for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I know he loves it, but I think he'd want to step out for a little bit. Plus, does he want to play second seat to James Gunn? No, of course not. Yeah, he wants the head coaching job somewhere. Yeah. Amir Afani became a YouTube member. Great time to be a member. Great time to be a member. We have today actually at 4:30 we're doing a live stream, and we do two exclusive live streams a month, and you can join if you're a member. Every member can come in and join. Oh, I think it's the $5 and up. Can join you can join and ask a video question. So we can see you face to face. You can ask a question and be part of it. At the higher tier, you can actually join for the entire thing and be part of the podcast. And you all have access, all the members have access to the comic book, which we're going to be doing more and more with pretty soon. Derek Johnson, tell you, Derek is obsessed with trying to get the entire chat. He got like 80 memberships to people over the last couple of days.
Derek.
Derek's been giving a lot of people memberships and been gifting it. So right there, got 10 more memberships for the audience here today. I lied to you. 10 more memberships from Derek, who gave it. So now we have tons of members, and I tell people, like, because it runs out eventually after, for the person who gifts it, stick around, be part of it monthly. Simon, Kristian, do you know if Josh McCouga has seen Sinners? If so, over under 6% that you could scare him by just saying Sammy. No, he wouldn't get scared by it. He'd laugh. But the US promo actress did, and she didn't say anything. Classic Collider episode. Do it. So Josh McCouga, I don't know if have you ever met Josh McCouga?
I don't think so.
So Josh was on Collider Live and Schmoes for a very long time, Schmodown.
Aww.
And he was a big old scaredy cat. And so like really, you would think it was a bit, but it wasn't. Right?
Oh, we'd get along great.
When Us, remember that movie Us?
Yeah.
They did a promotional thing, and they had a woman dressed like kind of what Lupita Nyong'o was doing in that, and she came into the room and followed McCouga around the room. McCouga was running and screaming and yelling, and the woman almost broke character because she couldn't believe it that this guy was screaming. We took him to see it, and he was screaming in the theater, so much so that I can't remember what publication it was. There was a woman who wrote an article about him, about the loud man baby who couldn't shut up in it when he was legit scared out of his mind. And she
amazing.
redacted the article, but like it was the best. So I don't think he would get scared at Sinners, though. I think he'd be okay with Sinners.
Yeah, I made it through that, and
Yes.
I'm somebody who cries when I get sent the gif of Pennywise waving Georgie's arm. So,
Oh man, if you were here, we'd do those reactions.
oh my God, I've never seen them, and I purposely,
Wow.
a lot of times when someone's like, "I want you to watch this horror movie," I will read
Don't
the
do it.
wiki to ruin it for myself, so that I can be like, "Oh,
What's
no.
going on? Hello, Georgie. Christopher Brickner. I like Sean Levy as a director, but looking at the average quality of his films, I fear the reaction will be mixed, and that's not what Star Wars needs. Here's the thing, though. I think it's going to be safe. I think Star Wars needs safe right now. I think it needs safe. But I don't think lazy safe. I think fun safe. I think fun safe with a little risks sprinkled in.
Mhm.
Big movie star, fun, feeling like Star Wars in a movie theater. He's the guy to do that.
I agree."
Yeah. They don't need Andor in the movie theater right now. And I love Andor. I love it. In the movie theater, that won't play the same way. People, it's boring and blah, blah. You don't need that in the movie theaters. In the movie theater, you need the pew pew. You need the adventure. You need all that stuff, because that's what gets people into the theater. But you also want substance, and you want characters and emotion. And I think Sean Levy can do that. So I will disagree on that. I think he's the right guy for the job. Kris, do you agree with that, by the way?
I do. I really enjoy his work, and I think he does do a great balance of levity, heart, and action. And I feel like, when I see Star Wars on the big screen for the first time in years,
Right.
I want it to be big and epic and bombastic. I too want the pew pews.
Yeah, I agree. RQM DSMD Springsteen trailer looked great. So looking forward to that movie. Great show as always. Yeah, I think people are getting hyped for that movie too. It's because people love Jeremy Allen White. They just love him.
He's incredible. He's a wonderful actor. And Bruce Springsteen even has given him like the blessing too of like, he's got this.
Oh, okay, great. Roham Ranger, thank you. And then Avi Malik, love having Kris on the show. So insightful and knowledgeable. Please refer to me as Kristian, not Kris. Oh, talking about Department Q was fantastic. People love Department Q. Highly recommend. Also, have either you seen Triangle? No, what's Triangle?
Oh,
you know what that is?
A shape. I've seen one of them, but not the 2007 specific.
I don't know what that is. Tyler, can I get a Jeff Schneebly? Well, I don't know him, but I can give you a Jeff Schneider. It's my favorite. So Jeff Schneider, obviously from who I'm assuming who's been on.
I have never met Jeff.
Oh, you've never met him, but you're aware.
No, I know who he is. Yeah.
Right. So he was former multiple movie trivia Schmodown champion, teams champion, longest reigning teams champion. So Booker T, the wrestler, got involved with the Schmodown. He used to do his predictions, and he'd be like, and he's like, this week coming in, I got Jeff Schneider. All the time. He was Jeff Schneider was what he's saying. I love it so much. Bobby Jackson. Hey, Kristian, when will you be watching F1? And would you want to see Damson Idris as Black Panther in the future? Damson Idris as Black Panther? Yes, I think that would be a great call. I think they got to figure out a way to change it out, and maybe he's the way to do that. F1, I'm waiting for my screening. Like I said, I was supposed to go on Monday. This past Monday, I opted not to, so Ilio instead. And I'm waiting to see it. I'm just crossing my fingers that I'm going to get it soon, but I'm highly anticipating that one. I can't wait for it. But Kris, do you think Damson Idris will be pretty good for Black Panther?
This was my pick. This is who I want to take on the mantle. Love him.
Mike Joyce. Did you see the Dune 3 casting news? No.
Yes.
You did. So the reason I didn't is because it was a spoiler, isn't it? Kind of the story.
It's supposed, yeah.
Right. So Luke, who produces the show, said there's casting news, but it's a spoiler, so I don't know if you want to know. And I said I don't want to know. So can you just tell me the actors who are cast?
Jason Momoa's son.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
And then I cannot remember the other gal's name that I saw. But it was somebody who I believe is on Silo.
Okay. Bobby Jackson follows it up. He said, I would say Aaron Pierre could play Felix Leiter in the new Bond, but they would probably cast an American for the role for Felix Leiter.
Oh, I mean, potentially. I don't know. They could probably. I feel like James Bond being British is way more important than Felix being American.
I agree. And they could also have Aaron Pierre do an American accent.
Exactly. He's great at it.
Yeah, he is. Christopher Brickner, I think a huge failure of episode 9 was that it didn't make people excited for Star Wars going forward. I don't disagree with that, especially with all the characters, fans like dead, and the new ones not being nearly liked by the end. The whole trilogy, Kris, was a mess. It was a mess, because I think even the people who liked Last Jedi and even Force Awakens can agree Force Awakens was Force Awakens. Anything coming after it doesn't really combine and doesn't really match up with what was set up by that director.
Yeah.
This episode 8 made things for some people fresh and enjoyed his take on it, and it was exciting and new, but what was followed up didn't work for them, and he clearly didn't give a crap what JJ said before him.
Yeah. So,
and then 9 was JJ coming back on, I didn't like what that guy did to everything I set up, so I'm going to do this now. And it's like just kids fighting in a schoolyard.
Exactly. It felt like I saw the drafts that they had been like doing instead of the final version.
Yeah, it was that those movies are just not good. Ian Davis, watching movies has always been a thing in my family for as long as I can remember. For me, the GOAT trilogy is Lord of the Rings. Stoked for you to show Sam. Kris and Kristian, what is your GOAT trilogy? Oh, this is so hard for me. I mean, I've got to choose the original trilogy. I got to choose Star Wars, Empire, and Return of the Jedi. I mean, I have to.
Classic.
Yeah, I have to. I'm not arguing with anyone that's choosing Lord of the Rings. Hard for me to choose other trilogies because they don't stop at trilogies. A lot of them, I can go, oh, Rocky. Well, that goes past 3. John Wick, that goes past 3. Born Identity, that goes past 3. There's so many movies that just aren't really trilogies. So what else is a trilogy besides those movies? I can't even remember what trilogy. Godfather, but the third one,
but
cancel it out. Yeah. I don't really know. What about yourself? Lord of the Rings?
Oh, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
don't name your dog Gimli if you're a diehard Star Wars trilogy person.
That is true. So Sam, it's so funny. I keep getting God bless people. We're watching She-Hulk right now, and it's it's painful, but we're watching it and we're going through it. And I mentioned that because she'd started watching the MCU she had never seen it before. She's going through the whole thing. And I said, there's going to be a couple of ones that we skip. And I said, we're skipping Echo. We're skipping Secret Invasion. And we're going to get to the Daredevil Netflix series much later on, because I want to get her wrapped up with the MCU. And then I want to start going to Lord of the Rings. Oh, she's never seen Harry Potter. She's never seen Star Wars. She's never seen all these movies. I want to get her into seeing these things. I know. And I want to get her into seeing all these things. So we're going to start doing that. I said, we're also not going to see Agatha, we watch Agatha. She'll watch on her own, because I just did Agatha with my wife. Every other comment, which I think is a good sign for Agatha, is like, you got to watch Agatha. You got to show her Agatha. I said, well, why can't you watch it on her own? I'm going to react to it again on my channel. And you got to show, you got to do it. And it was nothing. Nobody was being mean. They're just saying, someone goes, you chose this over Agatha. I'm talking about. It reminded me of the Gary. But I think I've told this story recently. Did I tell you this story about Gary Marshall?
No.
So the late great Gary Marshall, I met him when I was at I was in between. I was temping at New Line Cinema, and he came in for a meeting. And so he's there, and I had seen him in the restroom. I was like, well, I'm clearly not going to bother him when he's in the urinal, so I'm going to wait outside, wash my hands. I hear him. He's washing his hands. Comes out, and I go, sir, I know you're going into the meeting. I just want to let you know. Obviously, you're a big fan and all that. Just wanted to give you my respect and let you know how much I respect you as a filmmaker. But I want to tell you, one of my favorite movies that you ever did. Now everybody's going to be in the chat room. Like, of course, you said Pretty Woman. Nope. I said Flamingo Kid. And he pauses, and he goes, that one? That's the one you go with? Thanks a lot. And then he was very nice afterwards. But it was hilarious. He's like, that one? It was a great interaction. David Cheek, Harloff, you the man. Thank you. Loving the show even more since the move to New York. Thank you. All the small changes you made in your health in the show are noticeable. Thank you. What a very nice thing to say, David.
That's so sweet.
That was very nice. And my cousin the other day said, are you enjoying the move back to New York? I was like, so much so. Like everything about it, like the feel of it, going into the city to watch screenings, being the live show, the way that the schedule, the way it just works, it's pretty good. So yeah, this makes sense, but it's sad. Nick Vaughn, do you see that apparently Paramount has no plans to continue Transformers 1? We're in the hat. It didn't do well.
Yeah.
Do you know how bummed I am and I could, after you and I had that conversation, we were like, yeah, who needs another one? I'm like, come on, make another one.
Yeah. It was so fun. It was so fun. And I think that trailer just did a big disservice.
I do. I agree with you.
It's such a different, well, it's not even such a different movie. It's just such a better movie than the trailer.
It's a different movie. It's a different movie. It makes it look, that trailer made it look like a goofy children's movie. We said, oh, they're making this for like 6-year-olds. It's not. It's not. It's a fantastic film.
So well done.
Fantastic.
And it was a story I was like, I don't need it.
Oh,
yes,
I
do.
It.
Yes,
God,
I do, and I did.
Mike Joyce, there you go. Support for Gimli.
Yes, thank you.
31 so far, Chris. 31. Not too shabby. Good comeback. Bobby Jackson, I know you don't like when Star Wars aliens speak basic. So did you have any issues with the aliens in Andor season 2 speaking basic? No, because the way that they did it, I don't mind when some of them speak basic, Bobby. It's like some of them have like New York City cab driver stuff, and there's times and moments when it's like, okay, that works. Like Akbar was speaking basic in the original trilogy. It's fine, but he sounds like he's he's got an accent. But he's trying to speak basic. But when they have like the guys, some people have Boston accents, and the one I always use the Solo one, like the beginning of Solo when the big space worm, whatever it is, she comes out and she's talking. If anybody needed to be speaking alien language, it was her. Instead, she's going, Solo, and it's like, I'm out. I am no longer locked into this. It is horrible. But no, Andor, I thought they did it well. How about you, Chris?
I think it was done well. And I was so happy to slowly start seeing more aliens.
Yes.
And I think which overall I think is a larger commentary on why people kept doing why are there no aliens in space in Andor and
Right.
everything. Why are there no aliens around the Empire was the question that everyone needed to be asking, and they handled that really well, I think, in season 2.
Well, they also said it in a lot of the books and comics, which is that it's essentially like the Emperor, you don't like aliens.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you don't want them around. And they brought that to the forefront. But I like that that's what, again, it's a whole other conversation. But I think that's what Tony Gilroy does well that other people over there do not. He listened. Go Pal. I must have already crumbled to dust. When Power Rangers came out, I already thought it was a knockoff Voltron, and I never gave it a chance. Did you see the Power Rangers movie, the one that came out in was it 2017?
Yeah.
I liked that film.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really fun. I will say, though, rewatching Mighty Morphin, that movie is so freaking weird and so fun. And Ivan Ooze is one of the best cheesy, great characters.
Yeah.
Oh,
I liked it.
man.
Go Pal. Kristian, didn't Clemens actually join the Yankees? Yeah, that's my point. If he went when Clemens came over to the Yankees, people couldn't believe it. They lost their minds. If Feige went over to DC, it would be the same type of thing. Or Wade Boggs or Johnny Damon, either one. Troy, great to hear Kris is a regular on the show. That's right. If anyone's on the fence about voice acting lessons, I personally recommend Speak Friends Studio. Do it.
Oh, thanks, Troy.
Yeah, that was very
Thank
nice.
you so much.
Good endorsement here.
Yeah.
Orca 447. I saw your reactions to Ilio, and I wonder, how do you think the movie fares against the more recent films like Elemental or Inside Out 2? I think both of those movies are significantly better. I think Ilio is a good, and I said it earlier, a sweet movie. But is it an overall super memorable movie that people are going to be talking about like they do for Inside Out, more so than I say Elemental? I think it's maybe on par with Elemental, but I think Elemental is a little better. But I thought the character of Ilio was really, a really good character. The relationship that he has with his aunt. The second half of the movie is pretty strong. There's some things that I really responded to, but it's not. And I think that it's one of those movies and I think it's definitely a movie that this is going to be kids and families are going to make this movie either work or they're not. This is not going to be a crossover movie. This is kids and families are going to make this a flop or not. And if that is the case, if people are like, okay, the question is, are parents going to take their kids to go see this in the theater, or are they going to go and see How to Train Your Dragon, which is still in theaters, or are they going to see Lilo and Stitch, which is still in theaters,
or Sinners,
or Sinners?
Teach them young.
Yes, I just don't think that this is the one that they go and take them to see. But if they do, I don't think they're going to be disappointed. They're just going to say what I did. Well, that was a sweet time at the movies. Are you have any interest in Ilio?
I'm kind of interested because, again, I like the voice cast. And I do think some of the character designs and concepts are interesting. The movie I opted to go see on my free day was The Materialists.
How was it? Was it good?
I can't decide if I liked it or not.
Wow, I hear good things.
Yeah, there's some really interesting points in there, and I really like the conversation around it. I think it's marketed poorly because it's not a rom-com.
Okay.
Honestly, it feels like a takedown of them. It's much more cynical than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
But it's really interesting. And then there's some really excellent acting moments for everyone. And then there's some other moments where I'm just like, oh, this feels like a Fringe Festival play moment.
Okay.
A Hollywood Fringe Festival moment.
Interesting. All right. Mr. I crap and shits. If the Feige rumors are true, he earned his break from comic book movies. Been doing it since the OG X-Men movie. He's been doing it for 25 plus years. I mean, I don't disagree with that. I just don't know how many times you hear people are on their way out and then they're not. And is he stepping down or is he not stepping down? Now, it does line up, though, that if he decides to take off around that time and then he comes in, look, the other thing is, let's say, God forbid, it is Dave Filoni that takes over for Kathleen Kennedy when this all goes down. He might have 2 years to prove himself, and he might be the interim guy until they say, yeah, no, we're just kidding. Let's give it a Feige. I don't know. Do you have any? Did we talk about it last time? If about Filoni? Do you think Filoni and Beck?
I mean, I feel like Filoni is being set up to take on that mantle. Yeah. But, again, I say this as a person who animation is my first love, and I love all that stuff. I just don't know if that's the person I have take the helm for everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially because he does tend to live in his universe in particular and his characters, who, for the most part, I really enjoy. But I want to make sure whoever's taking on that mantle doesn't have a very like sense of tunnel vision, if you know what I mean. I want them to do that expansion in the universe.
Here, here. Bobby Jackson, I know you don't read these Star Wars books anymore, but the final part of the High Republic story came out yesterday. I got it sent to me. Yeah, it's sad it's coming to an end. It's been some of the best Star Wars in years. I know, but like I said, Bobby, and I think that's why you read these and good for you and doing them. I always tell people, if you're just reading these stories because you just want to read good Star Wars stories and you just want to read well-written things about people who get it, you should absolutely do it. I was reading these stories when they first came out because of the false promise that was given, which is if you read these, it connects into everything and it's all canon and all of it, the comics and everything. And it's all they're going to do this really creative thing where they connect everything together. So you'll be rewarded throughout it. But then they're like, well, not really. Not the comics, not the books, the TV shows and the films. Yeah. But we'll change that at the drop of a hat if we need to. That's where they lost me. But people really like this High Republic series for sure. Did you read any of the books? Or you know you read the I know
I
the
didn't really
Legends
read any
stuff,
of them.
no, but not
No,
even
I've read some of the comics.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. I will say Brett Sheridan sent me something yesterday, and I'm surprised Ed Harrell didn't send this to me because he's usually one that does. They're doing a documentary on one of my favorite 80s movies of all time. Do you know the movie Rad?
No.
It's a BMX bike movie. It has Talia Shire in it. And it just encapsulates the 80s BMX deal. And yeah, it's about as cheesy as 80s movies you're gonna get, but I love it so much. And they did a full documentary on it, and I cannot wait to watch it. Yeah. Mr. I crap and shits, real news. Man at nudist resort murders 2 people over a hot dog. What? I laughed my ass off at the headline. They knew what they were doing. Look it up.
Did they know it was a hot dog?
I don't know what's happening.
Nudist resort. Things can get tricky. Things look like other things.
With a hot dog, I'm sure it did. Oh my goodness. Okay.
What do you think a hot dog looks like?
A wiener.
Oh, okay.
Why do they call them that?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Big Balls.
Good to hear from you, buddy.
Good to hear from you, buddy. Joe for show. Support for you guys. Do you think that there's a possibility Lobo will be the DCU version of the MCU Loki? I don't think so, because I don't think he's not as I know that he's got kind of a personality, but I think he's a little darker, isn't he?
Yeah. Like, well, and he's not, in my opinion, Lobo isn't the big sweeping kind of like redemption arc kind of guy that you can get. I mean, there's a whole comic book where Lobo kicks Santa's ass, right? Like he's more of a just violent, bombastic character.
Okay.
And I don't know if you'd utilize him in the same way. You
That's
could,
good.
I guess.
Yeah, I think he's more, again, Loki's more of a trickster.
Yeah.
Christopher Brickner. Will Starfighter make more than Thunderbolts? Lucasfilm and Disney better hope so. That's another thing we haven't really discussed, is that if Mandalorian and Grogu and Starfighter don't make money, Disney better seriously think about selling Star Wars.
Yeah.
That just shows you that nobody, because you're not going to follow it up and then your next hit's going to be the Rey movie. It's just it's over. But if Mandalorian and Grogu do well, and then the Starfighter, I think Starfighter will do pretty well. I think that will be their biggest hit in years.
I think so too. And again, just the fact that something is going to be on the big screen that is a new Star Wars property, that's going to get enough people interested.
Well, what do you think about Mandalorian and Grogu? Do you think that's going to get people in the theater?
I mean, it's going to get me in there. I
Right.
don't know if everyone else is, because I feel like a lot of times when you make the jump from a TV show to the movie, some of your audience, especially with how we've conditioned people with streaming, already do that. I'll just catch it once it's on Disney Plus.
That is absolutely true. The other part of it is, well, I haven't seen the other seasons. I'm going to be lost.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. The
Right.
number of times I have had to make literal flashcards for my friends for Marvel things is way too many at this point.
Right.
These things need to have an access point.
Yeah, and that's Marvel. This is still but 3 seasons. It's like, well, what do I need to know going into this, if anything at all?
Yeah.
And this is the Filoniverse problem of it. It's like Road to the Hutt and all those people. There's all stuff from the Clone Wars and other things that combine that you're going to lose a lot of casual people if they don't know what's going on. I'm going to enjoy watching and seeing those throwbacks, but can you get the casuals to care? Time will tell. Bobby Jackson, I don't remember if you got to the story yesterday, but what did you think about the He-Man silhouette? Someone lightened the photo to see better. I did see a few of the pictures that did of him, and then there was one of Tila also. I like what they're doing with He-Man so far. I mean, like I said, I don't like the Earth stuff. I thoroughly don't like it. I don't like that they put him on there. He's never gone there. His mother's from there. It doesn't make sense. I don't know how long they're spending there. But if the majority of it is a sci-fi fantasy, Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars, huge space opera type thing on Eternia, I'm down. So I liked what I saw in the images so far. Did you see them, Kris? Are you liking what you're seeing so far?
I like that how it looks. I enjoy it. I think it looks promising. But I'm with you as somebody who is a very casual He-Man person, but knows a lot about She-Ra.
Yeah.
Of why Earth? Why are we changing some of the? I don't understand the change. I don't understand why you do it.
It's him. His mother is from Earth. He-Man's mother is from Earth, but but not him. That's the whole point of it. He's the Eternia through and through.
Yeah.
Simon section. Chris, as long as Damson Idris doesn't come back a la Lion-O for Black Panther, we cool? Also, Terry Crews to play Panthro in the movie. All he has to do work on nunchucks and do a proper roundhouse kick. Terry Crews might be a little too old to play Panthro.
I feel like he could still do it and work on his nunchuck and roundhouse kick skills. Who's to say he doesn't have them already? I believe in Terry Crews.
That's true.
You can isolate your pecs like that. You can throw a nunchuck.
Are they still doing that movie though? I know that Wingard wanted to do it.
There's still talk about it.
We'll talk about it. I don't know.
I think it'd be fun as long as it doesn't look like cats.
Did you? Oh my God! Did you ever see this is before the days of AI? Did you ever see the trailer that they made, the fan made trailer of when they had
Campia showed me that.
Oh yeah, they had like Brad Pitt as Lion-O, but it was like him from Troy, and it was great. It sounds
really well done.
It's out there somewhere. Kenya King, what was your favorite death in Final Destination 6? So we just put the Final Destination 6 reaction up this morning. Hope everybody checks it out. It's one of the biggest reactions I've gotten out of myself and Tina at the same time at all. I'd have to say the MRI scene for sure. It's pretty good. The movie's really good. I had never seen the Final Destination series. I had seen a little bit of one, and I'd seen most of 5. But I had never really seen them all the way through. And we watched the whole series, and the new one just came out on digital yesterday. And so we watched it, and I was pleasantly surprised with what they did with it, because you talk about a franchise that could get old real quick. They did a really good job. But yeah, I would say that one. Bobby, I was happy to see Andor take the #1 spot in the ratings for the final episodes. You think we'll get more in that vein now? No. Do I think we should? Yes. How do you feel, Kris? Do you think we'll see more in that vein?
I think we're going to see more attempts, but will it get something that good?
You think we can get more attempts?
I think there's going to be another series that's going to try to capture this lightning in a bottle.
With Filoni in the helm, you think so?
I think just because of Andor's reactions, and because this is the opportunity to have prestige Star Wars television.
Yeah, I know, but he thinks he is making prestige television.
That's fair.
Let's see.
I think I'll give it a college try.
We shall see here, Bobby Jackson. And that is, if WB ever ends up back up on the selling block between Apple and Comcast, who do you think buys, and which would you ever want to see buy it? Oh, man. I mean, it's the same answer I have for Star Wars. Apple. Because Apple has FU money.
Yeah.
They like, it's not any business you have, you want to make money, but they don't go into panics, meat sweats if one of their things doesn't do well. They're like, oh, we lost $40 million. That stinks. Let's go sell a whole bunch of new tech. Okay, we got it back. When do we get it back? Oh, 5 minutes ago. Oh, okay. So Apple, and not because they just have money, because they have the right creative team. They've spent the money to get the right creative team.
They've been doing such good stuff too. I finally got caught up on Stick because of Roxy posting about it.
Yeah.
Their shows are so good.
I just started, like my wife is 4 episodes in, so last night I didn't have the strength to get out of bed So I just watched the 3rd episode. Didn't know what was going on, but it's a good show. But I'd like to go back and actually rewatch it so I can see it. Just started without me, son of a b. Dawson DeMars. I just saw How to Train Your Dragon. I was worried it wouldn't hit emotionally for me, I was worried that it wouldn't hit emotionally for me because most of it worked for me. Wish they leaned into realism a little bit more, though. Fair enough, but I think it was a pretty good adaptation. Did you see that one, Kris?
I finally caught it, and I don't know if I would have liked more realistic dragons, honestly.
I think it works that they took those dragons. I thought it was interesting the way that they took the ones from the animated and put it in there.
Yeah,
I like that. Philly G, Havoc Quinceanero. Look at that.
Thank you, Philly G. Oh,
nice.
Man.
Nathan Stowe, support for Kris Carr.
Yes, Nathan, thank you.
Not bad. You got a 44 so far. Not too bad. Not too bad. Kris, hey, listen.
Compared to 113.
I know. Look, week 2. You're only on week 2. Tyler, you didn't notice I spelled it Schneebly and not Schneebly. Right over my head. Yours too?
Is that a School of Rock reference?
Maybe.
Ned Schneebly? Oh.
Ned Schneebly. So right now, this is the last one for now.
Okay.
Now, this is what has happened in the past. This is the first time you have run into this situation. Steph is the damn queen of it. So normally what we do is, I'm going to read this last one. I'm going to give a sign off. But if the audience wants to keep us on, they'll ask some more questions. If not, let me call it a day. But Steph has one time she was down by like 40 and wound up winning by like 30. And you're on for an extra. So maybe that happens today. Maybe it doesn't. Christopher Brickner, being a new property in Star Wars, knowing audiences' film habits, and being post-Ep9, I think Starfighter will make less money than Mandalorian and Grogu. I don't think it'll make less than Mandalorian and Grogu. I don't think you're right there. I think it's going to be less confusing for people. I think Ryan Gosling is a big name to put into that. And if the trailer is good, yeah, I don't agree with you there. But Kris, do you think Mandalorian and Grogu will make more than Starfighter?
I don't think necessarily because of that whole accessibility of I can just jump right into Starfighter. I don't need to know anything about Star Wars.
That's what I mean.
Whatsoever. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah. But look, it needs to have a good trailer. It has to have a good trailer also. Unheard Sirens Incorporated, Remy. Kris, what are your thoughts on the current state of Doctor Who? Is Disney going to give it up to another streamer?
Well, it's a possibility. And that's one of the reasons why we, spoilers, just letting everyone know, that's why we're getting a new Doctor, right? Because Scooty and his team didn't know where the show was going, what was happening. There wasn't an option to renewal yet. And so he's gone on to other things. So it's a possibility. It really just depends ultimately. It's been really nice to see Doctor Who with a higher budget, some of that Disney money. Right. One of the things I do love about Doctor Who, though, is when it's just like really great, cheesy public access kind of funding. And I think it looks spectacular. But I feel like anyone else could take it back up. We had it on HBO for a little bit. They had a deal there. Then it went to Disney. So maybe we're just going to do some musical chairs for a little bit and see where it lands.
I'm interested to see that. I was going to say something. I can't say anything yet about 28 years later, but in about an hour and a half, my Out of the Theater reaction will be up. So make sure you guys go check that out. Christopher Brickner, better Star Wars timeline, Legends or canon? I gotta say Legends. I would have said canon a while ago, but I think I'll say Legends now because I just think that there's like the Obi-Wan story that they had in Legends. They should have adapted that and turned that into the damn TV show. So I'd say Legends. Philly G, keep it going. We're trying.
Thanks, Philly G.
They got you all the way up to 51 already. Buster Barnes, Gunn said only primary voice actors for animated projects carry over to live action. Tudyk was just filling in as Clayface as he only had 2 lines. Okay. I mean, that's fairly, you said that too. I mean, look, there are certain things that aren't transferring over in general, right? You look at like Frank Grillo. Frank Grillo is playing Rick Flag Sr. and Rick Flag Sr. in the animated series has like bright gray hair. You see him in Superman, he does not. You see him in Peacemaker, he does not. I asked Frank Grillo about it when I interviewed him. He said, yeah, I was filming some other stuff and they said I didn't have to do that. And it's like, there's certain details I'll be like, who cares? Yeah. I think some people will get pissed off about it, but others, who cares? Okay. Tyler, oops, missed the beginning when you said it was Schneebly. You guys don't recognize that last name? Schneebly, Legend of the Rent is way too hardcore.
It is School of Rock then. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That Mr. Schneebly. Okay.
Yeah.
It makes a lot. I mean, it's a great movie, but it's not one that people quote the names all the time. I mean, I remember seeing that movie. Can you guess? Let's play. I don't know how good you are at movie release dates, Chris. Can you tell us when that movie came out?
2002.
Close. 2003.
Oh, okay.
Double check me, but I'm gonna say I'm pretty confident it was 2003.
Let's see here.
Only because I remember seeing it with my ex-girlfriend and she was not in town in 2002. Possible it's 2004, but I'm gonna say it's
2003.
Yeah.
September. You are correct.
Yep. Great movie. Really good. Did you know that two of those cast members, two of the kids got married?
Yes, it's so cute. She became a vet.
So good. That's a great story.
Magic.
Did you see the Superman clip? I don't like his tone speaking to Lois. He's reactionary and over-agitated by Lois. He's been Superman for 3 years. Is this his first time with Lois? He acts like Superboy. I haven't seen the whole thing yet.
No.
I did see when he got a little upset. I mean, in that trailer, that's what you're talking about. That didn't bother me too much. But again, it's the same thing, Shaw, like I said about the other stuff. I need context throughout the whole movie before I can judge a scene or a clip in a trailer. In the same way that I had a criticism with the line that he made. It's like, I got to see the movie. I got to see if it's earned before I can say anything about it. Joey Pedras. Best use of AI in Hollywood might be letting writers ask lore databases to keep big IPs consistent. Has any use of AI in film actually felt justified to you? I mean, I'm sure there's some of it I don't even know. How would I even know?
Yeah.
What was there and what wasn't there? I don't really know the answer to that question, you know?
Mm-hmm. I can understand. I don't love it. I can understand dubbing sometimes. And I say this as a voice actor when it's hey, we want to keep Chris Evans as Captain America and now he's speaking Portuguese.
Right.
Although then I get bummed out for all of those wonderful actors who are doing that, Brazilian cut of that kind of thing. But I feel like I just am not educated enough on AI to see it and then go, oh, that's a really great use of it.
I can't tell, Joey. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Tyler, just trying to mess you up saying, Jeff Schneider. Give me a break. Fair enough. Okay.
Is that it, everybody?
Good for now.
Do you not want to support a 15-year-old dog?
Don't give
15-year-old dog. No one gives a shit about my puppy.
Don't guilt. Evil John Madden. Chris, happy here. Used to watch Campy, but his head got kind of huge. Come on, John Madden. Though his opinion mattered he thought his opinion mattered over everyone else and only let you guys talk a tiny bit. Come on. Kristian's great. He shares the show. Takes a back seat. You're on a better show. Well, don't say that.
Everyone can exist and everyone can do things.
Yeah, and
you don't need to dim someone's light to brighten someone else's.
That's right. John runs a very tight show, and John's been very, very good to both of us. So
absolutely.
Tyler, you're reading these ahead so you don't mess it up. You're reading these ahead so you don't mess it up. I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means?
Does he think that you have a script of these already? No, we get them as we get them.
Yeah, I'm just getting them. You're reading these ahead so you don't mess it up. I don't really understand. I'm sorry. Christopher Brickner. How much of a draw will Gosling be for Starfighter? It didn't help with Fall Guy, and that movie was great and well marketed. Well, this is what I meant by that beforehand, too. I don't disagree with you, or I don't think, and I've said this many times on my show before, too, and Chris, I think you agree with this. I think we've had this conversation. Movie stars themselves don't sell tickets. They really don't. There's Tom Cruise doesn't sell tickets. It's Mission Impossible, Top Gun with Tom Cruise sells tickets. Star Wars with Ryan Gosling could sell tickets because it's Star Wars. It's the matter of like, oh, okay, people like it. Wasn't a matter of like, oh, I don't like Ryan Gosling. I'm not seeing Fall Guy. I just didn't know what the hell Fall Guy was. Like, what is that? It's a fun movie, by the way, but it's like, what is that? It's an old school IP no one cares about. Ryan Gosling in Star Wars. So yes, I do think Gosling in a Star Wars movie helps more than Gosling being in Fall Guy.
I agree with that. You're going to see a Star Wars movie because it's Star Wars, ultimately.
Right.
But then it's just, oh, that's really fun, interesting casting. I wonder how Ryan Gosling is going to be in that world.
Yeah. You're mounting a comeback here. You got 62 so far.
Yes.
Jody Money. Hello, Chris. When Colin Trevorrow draft script leaked for his episode 9 Duel of Fates, what did you think? Did you like his story better? And did it wrap up the saga in a good way for you?
I never got to read that
Oh,
leak.
okay. They know that Jeanette was reading about it too. I did. And so here's what we were just talking about. Whatever you think about Colin Trevorrow in general, some people think that, okay, he's a little easier on something. He's not as maybe good of a filmmaker as Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams. He's the only one out of the three of those guys that actually listened to what came before him and tried to make it all work. He didn't turn Kylo bad. He went off of the stuff with Rey about being a nobody and all those different things. And he took what Ryan gave him. He took what JJ gave him. And he took that together and said, okay, well, then let me end it this way. And we all stay together with all of the things that were put there. Where the other two said, no, I don't like yours. I don't like yours. I don't like yours. And then JJ goes, get out of here, Trevorrow, boom, and then blew the whole thing up. So I actually did like what he did because I thought he was the only one that paid attention to what was going on.
Okay. I'm going to have to see if I can still find that because
you know where you should look, the way to do it, Chris, and you'll this will be the selling point for you. This is how I read it. There's someone made a comic book.
Oh, hell yeah.
Based off of the script. And you get and they sent it to me a long time ago. I don't still have it, but I did a review on it on Jedi Council years ago. But you can, if you do Duel of the Fates comic book, you should be able to find it.
Sweet. Okay, thank you.
Joey Pedris for the pups.
Thank you, Joey.
The Dre Archives. In my opinion, Solo failed because those who didn't like The Last Jedi did not want one of their favorite legacy characters to be ruined. I think that had something to do with it. I think putting it out that soon had something to do with it.
And also just seeing Han as Han and then having this movie so close, I feel like is a little funky too.
I think that Alden Ehrenreich, who is a really good actor, should have played who you just mentioned, Dash Rendar or somebody else. It's like that wasn't Han Solo. It wasn't Han Solo. It was just another character. He was great. He was good. He's a great actor. That wasn't Han Solo. It's like, that was another reason too. Eric Slavey. Wild thing is that Ewan McGregor said he read that Kenobi book on the flight back from filming the show and said that he loved it. Makes me think that if season 2 was made, it would be aligned more with that overall tone. They have an opportunity to do that. If Ewan McGregor has been very vocal that he wants to do a season 2. If I'm Ewan McGregor, I'm throwing my weight around and I'm saying, look, guys, give me another shot here to do this. People like my interpretation of it. Every damn time I've done this, whether it's the prequel or that series, they like what I'm doing. Let me be the guy that produces this thing this time. And let's do what Tony just did and do that tone. Instead of having Flea chasing people around with Benny Hill music playing in the background, let's do a real version of this. And that's what they should do.
Yeah. Well, there were no stakes in Obi-Wan. There were or at least so few. And you have a show like Andor, right, where you know what's going to happen. And there's still such huge high stakes because of how they built out the rest of that world and all the other people in it. That's why some of it just did not work.
Chris Malik reacts. Hey, Kristian and Kris, what's a movie that you think is great that others don't? And what's a movie that others think is great that you don't? Oh, that's such a tough one. I got to really go. I mean, I know that I have the answer somewhere if I think about it long enough. But it's always on the spot questions that are tough. The one that I always bring up that people love that I can't stand is Just Friends. People will talk about that movie. I cannot stand that movie. I think it is terrible. People love that.
My mom has really great footage of me after I got my wisdom teeth out and was high on all my Vicodin, singing just like Ryan Reynolds with my chubby cheeks.
Right, that movie though. Yeah. I just remember he's so mean. He was mean when he was when he was fat. He was mean when he was skinny.
It's a movie too that has not aged well at all either. Where you're watching it and you're like, this is just
it's a dickhead.
All bad.
Yeah. As far as what I think is great that others don't. What's a movie that I think was great? I was trying to think. There was one that This Is For You was a movie that I really liked a lot. Oh, and I liked Peter Jackson's King Kong more than most people do. Yeah,
it's very fun.
How about you?
I mean, like my guilty pleasure movie that I think a lot of people probably be like, this is not good, is Decoy Bride. It's just a real cute, charming rom-com. And then other movie that people think is great that I don't. and I always get a lot of heat for this one because it's not that I think
Yeah.
it's a bad movie. I just don't love this movie.
Which is?
Top Gun.
Oh my goodness.
Or Top Gun 2. Top Gun 2. Yeah,
Oh,
where I'm like, this is a well-made, really good film that I don't need to see again.
goodness.
And when I said that the first time, people were like, "What is wrong with you?" It's just one of those movies where I think it's great acting. I think it's well written. I think it's beautifully shot. It's just the story for me is oh, that's fine.
All
It
right.
just didn't. It's not as compelling for me. So I don't hate it. It's just that I'm not the target audience.
I was rooting for you to make a comeback before.
I know everyone's going to stop giving me the money now. Now they're like, "Well, screw this. Those dogs
Tyler,
should get adopted by someone with better taste."
that's right. Reading my comment saying Jeff Schneiker ahead. I still don't know what the hell you're talking about, Tyler. what is happening? I think he's messing with me now. Initial D's overdrive. Hey, Chris and Chris, what's up, Initial? It's good to see you here, Chris. I just got here but wanted to catch you. Have a good day. Initial is a very nice gentleman. He comes in here a lot and always talks very, very kindly every time he comes in. Met Bull. What's up, James? Was Andor viewership good or bad? It's good. It was number one in Nielsen. Are 900 minutes for 3 episodes of Andor comparable to 300 minutes or one shorter Acolyte episode? I think it's, well, the other thing you got to realize is like overall comparable to what people are watching with Acolyte in the shorter versions. It's also, and that was a real overblown budget. I think Andor was like 300 over the course of 26 episodes or something, right? Yeah. So they're really happy with it. I mean, I have spoken to people on the inside who are very happy with the numbers that they have. So yes, they're very happy with the numbers. Yeah. Buster Barnes. Some people really don't want Superman to have emotion. Well, I don't necessarily think that's the case. Go ahead, Chris. You're going to say.
I was going to say, I don't think it's emotion. I think they have a very specific idea of him being incredibly measured, patient, and always kind. And I think he is those things, but he also is still a fully fleshed out individual. So even the happiest person you know experiences some form of rage, some form of depression, some form of anxiety, right? And so that's, he's allowed to be a dynamic character. And I think that's one of the things we're getting a little hung up on. Yeah,
it's like, but it's the same thing we talked about it 1,000 times over. I don't want to get into it again, but when it came to the trailer, it's like to me, he should have personality. He should have emotion. It's just my question is a matter of timing and when is it the right? Does it feel well placed when it happens? That's it.
Yeah.
Unheard Sirens Incorporated. Remy Trevorrow's episode 9 was definitely better. JJ's was a dumpster fire. I mean, it had tone. Jared E. Why has Jared Leto been terrible in comic book films? Shaking my head. Great actor, but I'm super bummed. And Morbius didn't work out as well as his take on Joker. I hear he's also not easy to work with, right?
He's supposed to be incredibly difficult to work with, at least because of some of the method acting stuff that he claims to do, which is one of my kind of bugaboos about him.
Claims to do is even better. Unknown. Is it common for different directors to be brought up? Is it common for different directors to be brought on for pickup shots, or could it be something else? This is for.
Oh, it's a 2 of 2.
Oh, Trevorrow.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no, it's not Trevorrow. Unknown. I missed this. Unknown starts with this. A friend was cast to do background work for pickup shots for F1 a few months ago. Tim Miller was set on the director with stands in for his actors. And then, is it common for different directors to be brought in for pickup shots, or could it be something else? It is common. I mean, Andy Serkis did it for Lord of the Rings. There's tons of people who have done pickup shots for other people when they're not available. Spielberg uses people all the time. It's like, they're not available. They can't be on set that day, and there's certain things they can have for pickup shots. So no, totally common. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dawson DeMars, have you guys seen Nice Guys? Top 5 comedy with Ryan Reynolds.
I love the Nice Guys.
Oh, Ryan Gosling. It's great.
Yeah, it's so good. Shane Black movies, man, they're underrated.
Agree. Well, minus that Predators movie.
That's okay. I mean, I'll take it. I love that he sets everything at Christmas, so that at least got me a little in there.
Yeah, Tyler. Hey, fart spray. I'm going bankrupt with this Jeff Schneckler joke. Just laughing. My kids got to eat. He's making me laugh. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's having a stroke, but he's making me laugh.
Hey, fart spray is a great insult.
It is really good. Mert Aranta. Kris, have you read that Disney Doctor Who's deal is 21 episodes and 5 spin-off specials? The War Between the Land and the Sea is the first of those.
I had not read that. Ooh, okay. So we've got a lot more stuff coming.
Yeah.
5 spin-off specials. Damn.
Darian, hey Kris, love you to death. Have you seen Superman vs. the Elite? I feel like it taps into what I find most compelling about the character.
You talking about the cartoon? Yeah, it's super, super fun. I love DC animation. In the last few years, we've hit some rough spots, but man, like pre-2010 through like the 90s, that also might just be me being like, the shows that came out when I was a kid are the best. But yeah, I love that stuff. I love them.
Evil John Madden, Kris, you're funny, you're smart, love comics, and you're hot. If you become single, let me be the first person that you turn down.
Thank you. I hope I don't become single.
Yeah. Well, it was a nice way for him to say it.
That's a really nice way to say it.
Yeah. Armada, Thor, Farts and Thunder. That should have been the title. Gopal, I just haven't seen Just Friends since it came out, but I remember the time I worked with a guy named Chris Brander. Is that his name in the thing?
That's his name in it, yeah.
Okay. That movie. Legend MM600. Post a picture of your pup. You guys rock. You got to post a picture of the doggy.
Legend, if you are following me, you know I post about my dogs probably too much.
Yeah.
But I will.
Well, A Silva 88 for Gimli, son of Gloin. There you go.
Yes, thank you.
Tyler coming in again. Come on, man. And Jeff Schnelper. Did you know ahead for a question? What are you? What are you saying? What are you saying, man? It's like, this is what I'm hearing. That's what I hear right now. Christopher Brickner. Kristian, you should do reactions to every film in U-Bowl's filmography. Oh my God. Why would you do that to me? Just kidding. That wouldn't be fun for you. No, it would not. It'd be absolute torture. Chris Malik reacts. For me, a movie I think is overrated or that I don't that people love is Gladiator and The Dark Knight. Hot take with Chris on Top Gun Maverick.
I know it is. And I apologize. And also, everyone is always mad at me. I still haven't seen Gladiator.
The first
one came out when I was like 11.
Oh, so did you see it? Then clearly you didn't see the second one.
No.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
So this is my last Wednesday, guys. Bye.
No. You didn't say you didn't like it. You said you didn't see it.
Yeah.
Simon section. Kris, did you ever read or play the N64 game Shadows of the Empire? I did. It was my Star Wars college years. It was my Star Wars college years. It was my college years, and I would love to see Guri in live action. All we had was Lobo. Yawn.
I never played that, but I love the N64 and I still have mine. And I go to this really great game shop here in like the North Hollywood area called Game Dude. So I will go look for that one because they always have really great older titles.
Julian Ramos, thoughts on Goldberg versus Gunther happening at Saturday night's main event? I like that it's happening at Saturday night's main event. That's not a big PLE. I think Goldberg should let Gunther go over. I think that makes sense for him to do that. I don't think Goldberg should win another championship at 60 years old or whatever he is.
Yeah. But also Gunther, I need to get more excited about him or something. I don't know.
I love Gunther. I think Gunther's he's such a throwback to old school wrestlers. I think he's got like that. He's just pure heel, pure like old school WWF heel. And he says what he needs to on the mic. He's a great wrestler inside of it. I like him a lot, actually.
He supports his partners really well. And maybe he's just doing such a good job.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I don't like him.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. Armada, Conan or Letterman bits, which were funnier? I think it's hard to say. I'd probably give it a Conan.
I'm a Conan person.
Yeah, I mean, I love Letterman, but they were different. Conan was Saturday Night Live, his sketches and things. That's his thing. Yeah. I think he was the smarter one as far as that type of thing, but that's it. Tyler, oops, wrong show. All right. Hey guys, got here. Can I get a Jeff Schneebly?
What is happening?
I don't know, but I love that that's actually how we're gonna. It looks like we're gonna end it. Look, you didn't hit it, but what you did do is you got to 86. That's pretty damn good.
That's respectable.
That's a hell of a comeback.
There we go. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
86. So, Kris, again, second week. Great to have you on the show. We'll see you here again next Wednesday. As I said, you can go and check Chris's stuff out. We put the links in the description. Check out her podcast. Check out everything she's got going on. Chris, as always, thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. This is always a blast.
Guys, make sure you comment. Put your likes in there. Put your thoughts in there. Please, if you haven't subscribed to the Clips channel, please do so. We're at 10,500 now. We're going to get to 11,000. We need you guys to hit that button. Thank you very much for being here. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Thank you to our friends over at both Trade and Hydro. Make sure you check them out. We'll see you back here tomorrow with myself and Steph Sabraw. All right, guys. Bye-bye.